All right, let's do a little car talk after the Cowboys 27-20 victory over the Washington football team. A lot to be excited about, but a lot of questions here now for this 9-4 football team. And I'll get to all of that coming up here in a moment. But first, while I have you, if you wouldn't mind, give this video a thumbs up. And I would also appreciate if you'd hit subscribe on the channel and ring the bell. That way you're notified when we post new videos here. Cowboys 27, football team 20. Cowboys are 9-4 and have firm control over the NFC East, but there are question marks because this is not just about winning a division. This is about going further than this team's been since winning Super Bowls and dominating the 90s. They haven't been to an NFC title game in 25 years. So let's start with the good. This defense is good, okay? It's fun. It's exciting. There are young players making splash plays. Micah Parsons is a beast. He had 2 more sacks in this one. He is making a case right now to be the first player since Lawrence Taylor to be the Defensive Rookie of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. He's got now 12 sacks in the season. The record for rookies, 14.5. So he's only 2.5 off of that with 4 games to play. He also has 9.5 sacks now in his last 6 games. I mean, he is dominating, and this game was fun because Randy Gregory's back, and he had, a pick 6 and a sack fumble and was getting after the quarterback, and DeMarcus Lawrence had a sack, and he's getting after the quarterback, and Neville Gallimore had a sack, and so he's playing for the first time this season in this game. So, I mean, there's just a lot on defense to be excited about because of what we saw in this game. But I'm a firm believer in this defense now at this point has shown this defense good enough to win with. Now it's about the offense, which 6 games into the season looked like one of the best offenses in football. Dak Prescott was an MVP candidate. And, he did have the shoulder injury at the start of training camp. He had the calf injury in that game against New England where he threw the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime, and then went down with the injury, missed the game. So we could sit here and say maybe it's the injury and lingering effects of that. To me, based on watching some film over the last couple of weeks, looking at what happened today, I mean, his decision-making is off. So I think you've got this, you've got a combination of the play calling hasn't been great. You aren't getting elite play from your receivers, though I think the receivers played pretty well in this game. Running game's obviously non-existent. The offensive line is in flux. I mean, here's what I think, and Brian Broaddus mentioned on the post-game show that he's just not seeing the field well, especially the middle of the field. A lot of the throws in the middle of the field were off. He was completing passes on the sidelines, but the stuff in the middle of the field was off. I think it's an offensive line issue insofar as, he's just unfamiliar, and you can just tell he just doesn't look comfortable, or he's going through his progression too quickly, or it's like, maybe wait it out on his play a little bit longer, and that route develops on this side of the field where you're looking, but you're already moved on at that point in time. It's the decision-making that seems to be off. And maybe, again, it's related to the flux that they've had at offensive line. The offensive line hasn't been great, but it's also been inconsistent in terms of, Tyron Smith leaves this game with an injury. And so now you've got Terrence Steele and Lyle Collins in. And then, Lyle Collins throws a punch. Now he's thrown out of the game. And so you've got Nsekhe in the game. And you've had Connor McGovern and now Connor Williams. So it's there's an unfamiliarity with this offensive line because there's been so many different combinations that you wonder if Dak is, he's just not comfortable, because that's what it looks like. So he's not reading the field. His decision-making is off. There's nothing I see that says like, oh, it's a shoulder injury that's lingering, or it's this or that. Like, there's nothing to me that indicates that it's lingering effects of any of the injuries. I think it's mental in terms of, and I hate to play like psychologist because I don't know, especially when it comes to the mental side of things. I just think the decision-making seems to be off more so than what we're used to seeing, especially in the first 6 games. And at the end of the day, they won. I get it. But this offense that we saw in this game, that's not winning playoff games. It's not. Because you're going to play offenses that have better quarterbacks than Taylor Heineke in the playoffs. Okay, you're going to have quarterbacks you're going up against, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, that are trying to get in the way of your ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, which this team felt like early in the season could be a team that could win a Super Bowl. And my God, people, it's been 25 years since they've won one. They're not winning multiple games in the playoffs with this offense. Good news is there's plenty of time for this offense to return to form. Just see if it happens. Perhaps it'll be next week against the Giants. Make sure, if you've not yet already, give this video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate everybody for doing that. Also, consider hitting subscribe on the page, on the channel, and ring the bell. That way you're always notified when we post new Cowboys content. But for now, peace.